Hello everyone, it's Gail Moffat here, and you can find me on gailmoffat.com and also on Facebook, which is Gail Moffat, Moffat, and Gail Moffat, Spiritualist Medium and Teacher. So I've got two Facebook pages. So do find me, come and connect with me, and see what I'm all about. Now, one of the things that I was thinking about is in America, now I'm in England right now and it's midnight, but in America, you've put the clocks forward, so you've what you call daylight saving. Now, I always think that when we put the clocks forward, and in England we're doing that at the end of this month, the last weekend in March is when we do it here. And it's called British summertime for us. And when we do that, I always think it's the beginning of spring. It sort of marks spring for me. And one of the things that I like about the season and like about spring that I think is so incredible is it's new life. New life. And new life is important. And whenever I see new life, whether that be in a baby or a puppy or a kitten or a lamb or whatever it is, I always think, wow, that spirit has decided to embark on a journey. And that journey has come from the spirit world and entered into the earth and decided to have this life. And I think that's just absolutely incredible, because without new life, life can't go on, and life has to be cyclical. And because if you think about it, if we're here to learn our lessons, once we've learnt our lessons, well, do we really need to stick around? But I've always thought, and in the spiritualist movement, Emma Hardinge Britten brought through in her mediumship the 7 principles that is often used in the spiritualist movement. And one of them is eternal progress open to every human soul. So even though we may have learnt our lessons whilst we're here, when we go to the spirit world, we're still going to be learning. We still got loads of things open to us. And that's what's so incredible, that life is eternal. Life carries on. And it's never going to, never really stops. And this all starts with the concept of spring. Now, I know that we have listeners in Australia, and for them, they're looking at their autumn. And autumn is a time when, if you think about it, autumn is a time when it's coming to an end, isn't it? So, the plants are dying back down, the trees are dropping their leaves, or first going into this beautiful colour, especially if you're in New England. It's famous for the new colour. But it's a time of end. And, the whole year is really a cycle. But anyway, we're going to take some callers and take some calls and some callers. I believe we have somebody waiting. Now, I'm probably going to pronounce this wrong, but I'm going to have a go. So I do apologise if I get this wrong, but I think it's Jaitza in San Juan, Puerto Rico. Is that correct?
Yes. Yes.
Hello. How can I help you?
Hi, I would like to know about my love and finance.
You'd like to know about your finance, did you say?
Yes, my finance and my love. And basically that.
I heard finance and then and I didn't hear the second word. Could you repeat that again?
Yes, what I said is basically what I want to get information or guidance is in love and finance.
Yeah. Right. Okay. Now, one of the things that I'm thinking that I feel about you is I'm going to go on to the subject of love. Oh no, Spirit are pulling me away from that for a second, and they're saying no, we need to talk about finance, and they're drawing my attention to finance. Now, I know with your finance, it's been a little bit up and down. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And in fact, what they're saying to me is more down than up. Um, I know that feeling. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, what I'm getting what I'm being told is that it's like you're going round and round in circles trying to get the right job and get yourself sorted and money sorted, and it never seems to sort of properly get off the ground. And it's I feel that there's never and also I feel that you have a lot of commitments financially as well, because I feel like you're part of a bigger family. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
And so I know that it's sort of so I'm on the right track. I know that finances are it's the word that Spirit are giving to me is hit and miss. And sometimes you're quite nervous about moving forward with the finances and how it's going to go. And what I've been told is that there's a situation around you, and I'm just being told, hold your ground. Now, that would suggest to me that there is a situation around you where you need to hold your ground with regards to finances. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And they're saying that if you hold your ground and keep strong, things will come to, be sorted in a way that will be deserving of the efforts and the work that you put in. Because I feel like there is someone that doesn't always consider you in the right way with regards to finances. In other words, it's like someone has taken advantage of you. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And I keep on hearing, hold your ground, because this situation will come to fruition where you are protected, where you are okay, but it's dependent on you holding your ground, and it's dependent upon you being strong.
Okay.
Yeah? Does that make sense to you?
Yes. Yes, it does.
Now, and I feel that it's what my guide is saying is it's just all about you having the strength, because what's happened in the past is you see, you're a nice person, and what happens is people see that you're a nice person, and sometimes people take advantage of you. And
yes.
What I'm being told is that it's time for you to toughen up, time for you to be a little bit stronger and not accept being, in other words, I think if I were to say being walked over is too strong a word, and maybe you might agree that that isn't the right word. I don't know. But I just feel that you need to toughen up and not allow people to take advantage of you in the way that sometimes they do. In other words, you need to be keep strong. Okay?
Okay.
Now, on the subject of, so I'm just going to go on to love. Is there somebody in particular you'd like me to focus on?
Yes. It's the current person that I'm going out with.
Right. Okay. Right. As I look at him,
It's a girl.
okay. I'm just sensing a person around. As I'm looking at her, I don't feel that this has. It's almost as though it's not quite getting off the ground in the way that you would like. Would you understand that?
Yes.
And it's like I want to, and I can see it almost feels like you're more interested than she is, and I know that because I feel with her is she's got a lot of distractions and a lot of things going on in her life, and I want to sort of almost iron out those distractions, because once she's less distracted in her life, I feel that you have the potential to turn her head. But I do feel that she's got a lot of responsibilities, and these responsibilities are sometimes making your relationship a little bit difficult. Would you understand that?
Yes.
But I do know that when I look at her and look at her energy, she's a very giving person and a very lovely person. And I know that you couldn't go far wrong with somebody like this. And I just feel that she's got one or two things on her plate that she's got to deal with before she comes to the table with a relationship. But I do know that it feels very family orientated. Family responsibilities is what I sense around this situation. And I just want to say that the responsibilities weigh heavy on her, and she needs. It's like she needs time before she's ready for any sort of full on going into a more deeper commitment. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
Well, thank you very much. I've got another caller waiting, but thank you very much, and I hope that all helps you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. And so it's Jaitza. What a wonderful name. I love it. Love it. Jaitza. Have I pronounced that correctly? Yeah. Okay, so we have Dana in New Orleans, Louisiana is next.
Yes. Hello.
Oh, yeah. Hello. So you're still here, waiting patiently. How are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm really good, and I'm very envious of you living in New Orleans. I would love to go there one day.
Yes, I love it.
It's supposed to be a wonderful city, isn't it?
It really is.
Yeah, very lucky to live there. So how can I help you?
I'm just looking for general guidance, I guess.
Yeah. And is there anywhere in particular you'd like me to focus?
I would like, I guess I would say it's business, but money and perhaps any messages from anybody.
Anybody in the spirit world?
Yes.
Yeah. And is there anybody in particular that you would like to hear from?
Yes, for sure.
Who would that be?
Either of my parents.
Yeah. Well, as you were talking, I was hearing dad, 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 and I know that your dad has come in. And so you would understand dad in the spirit world, wouldn't you?
Yes.
Now, one of the things that I like about your dad is I feel I want to tap my toes and maybe that I don't know whether he was from New Orleans as well, but I feel like I've got a music within my bones, music within my blood. Does that make sense to you?
Yes, it does.
And I feel like I can play music. I feel like want to put an instrument in front of me, and I feel really connected to music and the whole scene that goes on in New Orleans. What an amazing, gosh, that's incredible, isn't it?
Yes.
Oh, what a dad. And I just feel that he would have been. He almost feels like he's quite, locally. It feels like he's known well. Would you understand that?
Yes.
It's like people would, it's like people give him respect. I almost want to tilt my hat to him. Oh, good morning, sort of like that.
Yes, definitely.
It's like, hello, and just as he's walking through the streets, I just feel like he's known and he's respected and he's well regarded for his talents. Would you understand all that?
Yes, I do.
He's a lovely man.
Yeah.
And I feel that there was a time where he tried to teach you some musical gifts.
Yes. That was a very big between us.
Pardon?
That was actually he listened. He had me listen to all the oldies with him, and as a small kid, I knew all the old songs. Music was very big.
Yeah. It's like. I mean, I've never been to New Orleans, but I know that there's a big music scene, and I just know that he was in it. He was part of it, and I know that you couldn't be one of his family members without being part of the music scene, because that was just sort of like, come on, girl, get into the groove. It's like, and I just wouldn't talk like that, so I don't know if that's how he would have talked or spoken, but it's, that's not my, I'm very English, aren't I? And we wouldn't say, come on, girl, get into the groove.
No, you wouldn't. But I understand it.
Yeah, it would probably be more along the lines of, oh, you need to listen to the music. But it's, I'm hearing him say, come on, girl, get into the groove. And I just know that. And I feel that there would be people in sort of, I don't know, bars and cafes and places along the main streets that would have known him as well.
Yes.
And I feel also he's got his, like, as he gets on a bit, he's got his little friends, and I feel that he would have sort of sat out in the street and play games or play, I almost feel like I want to play dominoes or something like that, or cards or things like that. Does that make sense to you?
Yes.
He's a character, isn't he? Wow.
Yeah, very much so.
Oh God, I really like him. I just it's a shame he's not here because I'd like to meet him. Although I am meeting him now. I'm very lucky to meet him. Because he's come from the spirit world to come and talk through me, but he's just saying, hey girl, I'm going to look after you, and I haven't stopped looking after you. Nobody messes with my daughter. I'm going to look after her. That's how he's talking.
That sounds like him. That's good. Very good to hear.
Yeah, well, it's just proof, as I'm talking in the way that he would talk. It's just evidence that I've got him, and evidence that life is eternal.
Oh, absolutely.
And as I'm talking, I'm hearing mum, mum, mum. So I know that mum's come in, and she's saying, and she's just holding in her hand a big apple pie. Would you remember the apple pie that she would make?
Yes.
And it's like really got a big sort of mound. If I made an apple pie, it might be sort of that thin, but your mum's would be like, whoa, sort of like that, full of fruit, and I just feel, and I can just sort of see those balmy hot weather, and the apple pie's just made, and it's sat on the side, and the smell, and just sort of. And also, she wore one of those old-fashioned aprons.
Mm-hmm.
The one where you go up front and tie around the back, and
yeah.
And she's always got sort of an apron on, and
yep.
And also, oh my goodness, what a life! I've got a feeling that I'm seeing, like, those porches that you have in America with the swinging chairs and things going on. I feel like you've got all of that going on as well in your house.
Yes.
Oh, very. Now I'm jealous. Dana, I want your parents, and I want your upbringing, and I want your house.
I had a disgustingly good childhood.
Disgustingly good.
I mean, nothing fancy, but just great parents,
Yeah. They were lovely, and I mean, your mum was just a real mum, real hearty mum, cooking and cuddly. She's cuddly.
Yes.
I just want to she just wants to come in and cuddle me, and so she's delicious. And also now I got the feeling that there's also something to do with like whiskey or bourbon as well. Would that make sense to you?
Yes, it would.
And I feel like it's like a Jack Daniels. Would you understand that?
Yeah, not in a bad way, but there's a joke because she is such a mom, but she would only drink old fashions. Yeah. When we go out to eat and things like that, and it was just weird to see a mom order a whiskey drink. And I actually bought a bottle of the mix, and I'm staring at it right now.
Yeah.
It's on top of my bar, and I was staring at it when you said that.
Yeah, well, she's just giving that to me. Now, I know that I haven't talked about, sort of other aspects of your life, but, it's like, as you were talking, your mum and dad just came whoosh straight in, and I know that they were very, very keen to communicate with you. And actually, I'm being told that this is far better for you than any other sort of stuff that's going on in your life, because it's lifted your spirits to hear from your mum and dad, because I know that you love them extremely, so much, and they do too, and it's been difficult for you not having them in your life.
I ask them every night to come visit me in my dreams, and I don't know if they are and I'm not remembering it, or if they just haven't felt it was the right time, but no, hearing from them is by far the most important thing.
Yeah, I heard that, so I'm glad that I went down that direction rather than what's going on in your life. That could be another reading.